Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out a very cool little one-button platformer known as Sienna by developer Tangram Games. This is one that I found thanks to the Pirate Bay bundle, which as I mentioned in a prior episode is a collection of, I think it's 101 small and generally overlooked pretty cool little indie games. And this was one that was in probably my top 5 out of the whole group, and I went and looked at all the ones that were available. But it's a tricky game. It's definitely tricky, but it's got the whole package. It's got great music, great sound effects, great graphics, and plays really well. It's sad, unfortunately, the thing was not entirely finished, but what's here is actually enough fun that it's, worth recommending of its own right. So let's look at the credits very quickly there, so you can see there's also a license text that you could look at if you need to. Some stats to show you. I've spent a little while on this one. I've already died a whole bunch of times. Got a minor little options menu there with camera speed, music, volume and sound volume, as well as scaling, which I'm going to assume is probably pertains to the window size or something. I haven't actually manipulated that particular thing, but this is the world map. As you can see, it's got a bunch of levels that will proceed, sort of like we're looking at a ghouls and ghosts and goblins type of deal, or wizards and warriors. They're all something and something, aren't they, that have these style maps. Anyway, let's start at the beginning, and we'll try our best to survive. So we play as this little cat who is an avid jumper, and unfortunately seems to be facing a tremendous amount of danger. On our side, though, we've got pressure-sensitive jumping, and that's about it. We're going to be trying to stay alive, watch out for angry moles and dogs, and throwing stars, and collect those little blue Pokeballs and coins. The blue Pokeballs are actually our checkpoints in this case. We can wall jump, and there's also a nice little move where as you slide down the side of a wall, the character will actually continue with the same momentum as before you started the slide. So that actually is quite useful in certain situations. Like I said, the level design's reasonably punishing. It's designed to be punishing, though, so, I mean, if you're the type that's easily frustrated, maybe this might not be the perfect game for you. But since I'm rather into games like that, I found it rather rewarding. I also like the extra added challenge of having those little coins to grab, where if you're, extra vigilant, you might be able to get a bonus out of it. I'm not sure if there's actually any concrete reason for collecting the coins that, they're redeemable for anything, but I think they're, if anything, just for posterity to be able to say you 100%ed a level, and I screwed that one up, so I actually should die there so we can try and get that coin. Hopefully I haven't already passed another coin in a prior area. Oh, we just got it. And if I get too close to those are actually dogs, and they'll jump up and bite me, and that's no good at all. I really like that little after image effect, by the way. It looks quite lovely. Like I mentioned, the graphics, really quite nice. And, oh, we actually got a better time on this one. And less deaths. That was all around a better run. Didn't get all the coins still, but maybe that's for another time. Let's go on to level 2, and I'll show you that one. Game starts hard, gets even harder as we go on, though. Gotta be really right on top of nailing these jumps. Oh, well, I already missed a coin up on top there. Some of the level design of this actually reminds me a little bit of that iOS game Hook Champ. I know it's a bit of a strange and obtuse reference, but if anybody out there's ever played it, maybe a similar thing going on there. I think I have to jump off that top edge. So there's quite a degree of... Oh, that actually saved me, but not for long. There's a little bit of a degree of trial and error as you try and find the perfect ways to line up your jumps, and then the fudge factor necessary to be able to jump with a little bit more precision sometimes, where you need to actually be a little bit more careful of, how hard you press the jump button, or how long you press it, rather. That will just make it. My goodness, we're already into some pretty dangerous territory here with some, I wanna be the guy-esque spikes coming out in every direction. It's a very deadly place for a little cat to be. Not sure why he or she has put him or herself into this position, but, cats do like to be rather curious, as we know. Like I said, though, the presentation style really good. I like the art style, I like the background, the little details. The enemies are versatile enough. There's a diverse group of them. The only complaint that I really have, and it's, I guess, a kind of a minor one, well, I guess it depends on the severity of how difficult these levels get as we get further on, but I feel like the jump button at times is maybe a little bit silly in that when you press it too many times consecutively, it seems like oftentimes it'll just kind of miss an input, or maybe it's just that there's a little bit of amount of time required that you need to be touching the ground before you can jump again, and if that's the case, then, it makes perfect sense, but in a game like this, you need basically perfect timing, and that does not do you any favors. Surprising, too, that there's invincibility frames when you respawn. I guess that sort of seems to be a workaround for maybe some iffy level design at times, because if you end up in a position... Oh, I need to not jump when the dogs show up. Yeah, if you end up in a position where you're being instantly killed, then wouldn't you say the problem is that the checkpoint just needs to be further away? And then, I guess as a further point from that, maybe the level design just needs to be a little bit more sporadic and spaced out, so that kind of compensates for that sort of thing. Oh, I was almost to the checkpoint. Darn, so close. Keep it going, keep it going. It is quite fast-paced, though. It keeps you on your toes. You really can't look away for even a second, and if you blink, you're probably going to end up in some lava or on a spike or something. Oh, I don't know what that is. I guess it's probably a jump pad, I'm going to assume, by where it's positioned. But I need to actually land on it. And you know I can't stop moving. I mean, being that this is a one-button platformer, the only time I can ever stop moving is if I encounter just a straight-up platform like I had at the very, very first level, where it just blocks your progress. Man, I just can't seem to land on top of that thing for some reason. Can I just skip it? Just jump over? Oh, there we go. Well, I guess that didn't quite work out. So the whole, really, the fundamental essence of this game is all about timing and being able to hit the button properly at the right moment and how long you need to hold it down. And a lot of that'll just come from experiential learning, playing the levels over and over again, trying to get a better time, get better amounts of coins, better pacing, all of that stuff. So if you're a fan of games where you're basically speedrunning, that's kind of what this is. Oh, we completed level 2. And we got 2 coins, 34 deaths, and quite a long time there. So we've got a bunch more levels. It's a shame that there's not more beyond the ones that there are. I forget if I already mentioned this, but there was a thing on the website that said the game was not entirely complete, so I'm going to assume there probably were more like worlds in the works, perhaps, and that's something that I'd love to see, because like I said, I really enjoy the art style, so I'd like to see how other environments might have been realized. And, you know, pretty good chance as we get further on in these levels there's going to be some other, you know, textural differences as well, but it's just I have a feeling we're fundamentally going to be in a similar locale throughout. This is really tricky already. My goodness. So, like, level 1 is hard mode, level 2 is very hard, level 3 is, like, very, very hard. Kind of worried about where we're going to go from here, but still, I could see this being the type of thing that I could sit and work at for quite a while. If you can play games like I Want to Be the Guy, Super Meat Boy, I Want to Be the Bot, any of those crazy kind of massacre games, this is probably a step or 3 down from there even. Although Meat Boy, definitely a very fair difficulty curve compared to the other 2 that I mentioned, so maybe not the best metaphor. Please, just... I think what might help is if I remap the spacebar to be the A button on my 360 controller. You know what else I could do at that next jump, if I really wanted to? If I do a little hop, I might be able to, or maybe a long jump from the one prior, I might be able to bounce off the wall next to it. I just wish that I had a little bit more control, right? Because you're always at the mercy of whatever the trajectory of your last jump was, and once you already screw up, it's like all you have to do is just screw up and die, and then do it again. And I'm doing really poorly on this sequence of jumps for some reason. Not sure why I can't seem to nail the timing here. It's really not that difficult. It's just I feel like it's the... oh, there we go. I just had to concentrate for 5 seconds, and I guess that's really... I'll just stop blaming the game. It's probably my own fault. Oh, we've got some Mario-esque fireballs, as well as we're adding more of these crazy planet globes that seem to be falling from the sky. It's a very Mega Man thing to have these pits with globes falling in them. I guess we're more used to having garbage falling out of stuff in Mega Man, but, you know, this is probably just as well. I can't seem to get the timing for those either now. And weird, too, how the timing seems to be offset each time, and sometimes you'll be in the way of the bee, sometimes you won't. Oh, goodness, that's going to be annoying. Alright, we'll get it eventually. Anyway, I think this is a pretty good preview of what you could expect out of Sienna. I know I'm just making a mockery of my own gameplay at this point, but I would encourage you guys to go ahead and download this for free and try it out for yourself, see if you can do better. And of course, let me know what you think about this particular game. I just think it has an adorable cat. So that was a long way to winning my heart right from the beginning. But then once the gameplay was pretty solid and the concept was good enough, I think that actually seals the deal for me. It's got the whole package. What more can you really ask for? So go give it a download. Check out the Pirate Bay bundle as well if you're into looking through a whole pile of sweet indie games. I'm sure you'll find some other ones that maybe I looked over. And of course, let me know if you have any suggestions, as always. But I will leave you for another day. I think I'll put the link for both the game itself and also the Pirate Bay bundle. Yay, we got the checkpoint finally. A little bit of incremental progress is always satisfying. It's a nice feeling. Anyway, If you want to check out more about the series, you can check out the description for not only the game download, but my other stuff, including my website, my personal website, that is indie-impressions.com for this series, so you can see over 700 other games that I've covered in the series. I've also got a Facebook, a Twitter, and even my Twitch page where I stream indie games on occasion, so if you want to follow me over there, that's also totally appreciated. And, you know, if you like the video, any likes are certainly appreciated there as well. If you're into finding out about a new indie game every single day, you might want to consider subscribing. That is also a gigantic help. And I just hope to see you back again tomorrow, because I do this every single day. So I'll catch you then, and I hope you have a fantastic night. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.